Up ahead on SportsBuzz, more craziness in Boston. The Warriors are cruising in round 2. We talk some soccer. Yes, you heard that right. And we talk NFL draft. Biggest surprises. Who won? Who lost? Up ahead on SportsBuzz.
Welcome into Sports Buzz. I'm Mario Miranda, shortly joined by Kyle DeVico. We have a jam-packed show for you today, hitting all corners of the sports world, literally. So let's get right to it. We start off in Philadelphia, the home to the spectacle that was the 2017 NFL Draft, where college talents from around the country look to hear their name called. Some shared a hug with Commissioner Goodell on the main stage, while others watched from home to begin to reap the benefits of sponsorships. It was a weekend full of surprising trades, controversial selections, and rowdy Eagles fans. For more on the winners, losers, future stars, and future busts, I'm going to send it over to the aforementioned Kyle DeVico, who is sitting with our draft expert, Aaron Burrell. Boys, let's start to make sense of this all.
Thanks, Mario. Aaron, good to have you here.
Glad to be here.
Always good to have you here. I see Adam and Eve held an interview here before. Can you believe this?
It's crazy. Little Apple scenery.
Hey, I like it. Change it up a little bit. All right, well, let's hop right into it. NFL draft this past weekend in Philadelphia. Did you watch? What'd you think?
Of course. A lot of trades, a lot of surprises. Very blown away by the Mitchell Trubisky trade up. I think that was a little bit extra by the Bears, especially when you consider that they invited Mike Glennon to a draft party and then drafted his replacement.
Dang, it's dirty.
Cold-blooded.
Well, I want to take a look at this graphic here. The top 10 picks from the draft. Which one, I know you said Mitchell Trubisky, but which one do you think got the best bang for their buck?
Best bang for their buck. That's a very good question. I'm going to go with the Panthers and Christian McCaffrey. I think that Carolina is going to have a whole new look on offense this year. McCaffrey's a guy you can shuffle across the board and put in a lot of different places. And obviously with Cam Newton, Cam is a guy who likes to get his playmakers the ball, and he himself can do it. So giving Carolina another weapon, it'll be interesting to see.
No, for sure. I like that, and I like that selection, even though many boards had him going later. Now, who do you think was the overall winner from the draft?
The overall winner. I'm going to take a little bit of a controversial stance here, but I'm going to go with the Oakland Raiders. The reason for that is that they grabbed Jaron Conley at the 24 spot. The reason for that is that he has a pending case with a rape allegation. He is maintaining his innocence so far, so we will see how that plays out. If he is proven not guilty, the Oakland Raiders will have snagged a top 15 talent with the 24th pick. In the second round, they grabbed Obi Melifonwu from UConn, the safety. He's
freak
got
numbers at the combine.
Absolute freak numbers. He's a great player. They also grabbed Eddie Vanderdoes out of UCLA. So there's a lot of good players that the Raiders took a chance on, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We saw Derek Carr, and what he was able to do, and barring he comes back and plays the way he does with the restructured defense, they could be a serious Super Bowl contender.
Okay, now, talking about winners, what we got to go to now. Who was the biggest loser?
Biggest loser. I'm going to say sorry to all LA Rams fans, but I'm going to go with the Rams here. There was a lot that they needed, and they didn't. I thought that they should have gotten some more weapons for Jared Goff. I mean, he's 0-7 so far in his career. Not much to work with. They didn't address
depth.
Yeah, very, very little receiver depth, and they didn't. I don't think they addressed their needs as well as they should have in this draft.
Okay. And the biggest impact rookie, who do you think coming into this league is going to take that league by storm and have a Cam Newton, some of the years we've seen from rookies of the past?
Biggest impact out of a rookie. I'm going to go with T.J. Watt, the rookie drafted by the...
Does he have a brother in the league?
Somebody, JJ or somebody like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But I'm going to go with TJ. TJ's, he had a great year at Wisconsin last year, and he's going to the Steelers. Have a history of, producing just mean defensive talents, and if his work ethic is anything like his brother's, I'd be very foolish to bet against this kid. And on top of the fact that the Steelers are a very good organization, and I always favor the prospects who fall into those organizations who have, successful systems built around helping these players assimilate to the next level.
All right, now I know it's been tough for you not to mention that favorite team of yours, but I'm going to ask you, how do you think your Bucks did in the draft?
Of course, we were not for the Raiders. I would say we were the biggest winners in the draft. O.J. Howard falling at 19, no one expected him to be there that far. But as I said, with the Mitchell Trubisky trade, things just got kind of shuffled, and I think teams kind of forgot about him in a little bit until he fell to 19. So I'm glad about that. Jameis has another weapon. He's happy. We also picked up, a receiver. We also picked up some defensive help as well. So
Playoffs
I think,
this year?
Of course.
I like it. All right, that's going to do it. It's all the time we have. Up next, we're going to talk some NBA playoffs. Sports Buzz is brought to you by The Vitamin Shop. With over 300 locations nationwide, shopping has never been easier. Use the convenient store locator or shop online at vitaminshop.com.
And we are back on the Sports Buzz. Kyle, happy that you're joining me at the desk now.
Hey, I think we look pretty spiffy. I think it's like we called each other up, even though we really didn't.
I think we're a couple weeks late because this is like kind of Easter attire, but
hey, Jesus rose, we rose, everything's good in the world. Here we go.
Fair enough. We're going to go into the Cavaliers versus the Raptors. Cavaliers look like they're just going to steamroll to the finals this year. Let's take a look at that highlight and see how that went down. We're going to start off here in the first quarter. Kyrie to Channing Frye.
Is that McDonald's? Because you just got fried.
After this, it was just the LeBron James show. He's looking like a freight train. Getting in there, two, boom, get out of my way.
Let's see a dunk, why don't you? Oh, look at
Boom!
it. Bang,
Jumping out
dunk.
of the gym. Looks like he jumped from out of bounds there.
Let's show a little three-point action. For three.
LeBron James. And then when you got a guy like Kyrie Irving who can just put up points at any given second, get hot like he did, it's too easy.
Let's see it again. Oh my, Kyle Lowry's in the third row.
Put him in the
And
blender,
a
man. Put him in
swish.
the blender.
Did he just pick his pocket?
And here he goes, another LeBron James dunk.
That's a hammer, and that'll do it.
They run away with this one, 125 to 103. LeBron James, so efficient. 39 points on 14 shots. Kyrie, 22 points, 11 assists. We're going to take a look at the other games now. After a 30-point performance that led the Boston Celtics to a double-digit win over the Washington Wizards and a missing front tooth, Isaiah Thomas traveled home to attend the funeral of his 22-year-old sister who lost her life the week previous. Coming off a difficult couple of days that he described as emotionally and physically draining, could IT draw up any motivation from the difficult times to leave the Boston Garden up 2 games on the Wizards? So that's that Boston Garden I was just talking about. We're going to start off just in the fourth quarter because this is where he got hot. IT with the 3 here. He cuts the deficit to 110-107. 110-107 as I, boom. From here, IT again, little dribble drive out to Terry Rozier, bang, it's a 3-pointer. That's a tie game. Look at it.
Oh my.
IT, you know why they call it, you know what they call the fourth quarter? It's Isaiah Thomas's time. Look at that, let's shake and bake.
Special.
Here you go. John Wall tries to get the last minute shot up. Bradley Beal, no good. They're gonna go into overtime. And overtime, they had no help because when you got a man like Isaiah Thomas, he's hungry. The and one, which Morris twin is that? Because he made him look silly. That's it. That's the dagger. 129, 119. Isaiah Thomas, 53 points. 54%. Wall in the losing effort, 40 points, 13 assists.
The Warriors, fresh off their 4-game sweep of the Blazers, were at home to take on Utah in Game 1 of the second round. Steph Curry getting ready for Game 2. We pick it up late in the first. Steph with the backdoor cut and the nice finger roll finish. More Warriors. Fellow Splash brother Clay for 3. Draymond Green keeps it going. A triple from the corner. Then we head to the late second. Did you hear that? The spin cycle is on. Curry right by Gobert for the lay-in. Oh, let's take another look at that. Oh my. Prayers out to Rudy and his family. God bless. Late third. Steph to Draymond. To the rack with authority. And one more time. Draymond Green, another 3. You betcha. All nylon for the Warriors. They roll to the Game 1 win, 106-94. Steph Curry, 22 points. Draymond Green adds 17, and it's looking like another easy series for the Warriors.
These playoffs so far have been so predictable.
So predictable.
I mean, it's just going to be, I guess, the Cavs and the Warriors going down the stretch. We're joined now by our resident sports psychologist, Dr. Will Mayer. How you doing, Doctor?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Great.
So we're going to change up. We did the sports. We're not going to break down the sports today. There's a couple things going on storyline-wise in the NBA playoff this year. We're going to start off with Isaiah Thomas, who lost his sister, as I mentioned before. It's been a tough time for him. You studying these athletes and how their mind works, how exactly do they deal with this? Is that something, we see that it's pushing him, but is that eventually going to catch up with him? Or?
Well, it could. I mean, obviously right now it's a terrible situation. It's very tragic. And as he said, it's emotionally draining. But I think for him it was emotionally draining to experience the service. On the court, most professional athletes, in this case we're talking about basketball, inside the lines on the hardwood, that's their safe haven. That's where they want to be. That's where they're most comfortable. For him, he's experiencing a lot of emotion. He's actually using it to his advantage. It's pushing him farther and farther. Where it might catch up to him is depending on how far they advance. He might just physically kind of not be able to keep up with it eventually. But at this point, he is not just playing phenomenal himself. He's inspiring his teammates.
Absolutely.
And so with the Warriors, do you think this easy path for them, do you think it's a blessing or curse?
No, right now it's a blessing. They don't have their head coach. The farther that they can go and have things be, kind of an easier path for them is more important. We always go through this. Should somebody be tested because they're going to get tested eventually? Well, wait till they get tested. I mean, you never want to lose a game on purpose. You don't want to do anything. You want to play on all cylinders because at this point, without their head coach, they want to make sure that the players are the ones that are leading everything and that they're not worried about everything. Where that might come back to bite them in the finals maybe is, frankly, the only concern I'd have is Draymond Green. Every once in a while he can go sideways, and Steve Kerr has that ability to kind of rein him in. If he does that, will he listen to his teammates? Will he listen to Mike Brown? Will Steve Kerr be back? That's really what you're looking at from a leadership point of view.
Speaking, we're going to stay on the western side here. Spurs, Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
We just saw that the Spurs lost Tony Parker.
Yeah.
Does that for morale? Does that you're losing your floor general?
Yes.
Does that kill morale, or do you think having a guy like Pop who's experienced, he can keep those guys focused and on the right track?
It's obviously a terrible situation. If you watch that, it just instantaneously you said, oh, that looks terrible. Okay, they are missing leadership more than anything. As far as play is concerned. Parker's getting up there in age, and some of the players were starting to run around him anyway. So at this point, it's more about his lack of leadership being there. On the other hand, you've got a player in Kawhi Leonard that has stepped up and become, probably second to LeBron James as the best two-way player, and two-way meaning defensive and offensive in this league, perhaps. So the only problem is it's putting even more pressure on him. And so at this point, Parker being out, that means Mills might have to start, and then some guys have to come off the bench, and everybody has to kind of step up. You're talking about a team that is so well coached and such a system-oriented aspect. The only concern I have is it too much pressure on Kawhi?
Last question: who do you think comes out there? Do you think they
Nothing's
ultimately
changed.
win out?
Nothing's changed. It's the Warriors versus the Cavs. Nothing's changed. I love Isaiah Thomas. I love what he's doing. I love Boston. We keep doubting him. They keep doing. The Cavs are playing unbelievable. And if they can actually get by Toronto in 5 or less, they get more rest, which means LeBron gets more rest. And nobody can really compete with LeBron. The Warriors haven't been tested yet at all. So I really don't see anything changing, barring injury. Obviously, injury changes everything. We saw that with Parker. If one of the key Warriors players or the Cavs players goes down, that throws everything up in the air.
Nobody breaks it down like you psychologically, Doctor. So we appreciate you having you on and hanging with us today.
Sure, thank you for having me.
Chopping it up.
All right.
So
Always great. All right, when we come back, We're going to talk some soccer. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to go around the leagues around the world and talk about who's the best player in the world with our analysts.
Soccer, really?
Welcome back. Mario's over in the SportsBuzz sit-down corner with two soccer analysts, one of whom is known for wearing some funky pants and always bringing up soccer in every conversation. Mario?
Kyle, you are right. We finally got the kids in their element. I'm here joined by Dylan Strong and Burrell, two former Sacred Heart soccer players. Boys, you've been pushing to get soccer on. We got it. So we're going to start off real quick. First, how you guys doing?
Brilliant.
Doing well?
Great.
You're happy to be talking soccer, right?
Of course.
More than ever.
I mean, I'm here just because I get paid for it. All right, so let's get into it. A couple weeks ago, we saw a Clasico. Messi, Ronaldo, the two best players in the world, probably two top players we've ever seen, the world's ever seen. Messi, they beat Barcelona. They beat Madrid late, 90th minute, that goal after getting all bloodied up. We're going to look at a graphic here. Which one is better? I mean, I would say, just looking at the numbers, straight numbers, numbers never lies, they say. I mean, Messi has more goals, he has more assists this year. I mean, in overall competition, if you're talking about, Euros, all that stuff. So Messi's better?
False. I'm going to go with Ronaldo, simply because he has won the European Championship for Portugal. And that team had no business being in the European Championship final. They didn't actually win a game until, I think it was, the semifinals? Or the quarterfinals, I'm sorry. That was the first game that they won in the tournament. On top of the fact that goals and assists don't always necessarily affect what Cristiano means to his team. If you take Cristiano out of that lineup, I think it means more to Real Madrid than if you take Messi out of Barcelona's lineup. If you take Messi out of Barcelona's lineup, you still have Neymar and Suarez, who are both two very, very good players. If you take Ronaldo out, obviously you still have Benzema and Gareth Bale, but Gareth Bale can't stay healthy for 3 games on the trot at the moment. So,
what do you got, Bill?
Yeah, I got Ronaldo right now. He scored 5 goals in the past 2 games, taking Real Madrid pretty much single-handedly into the round that they're in. And for many, it's a clear-cut favorite to win the entire Champions League. So that being said, his performance from European competition with his country versus Messi's, it just doesn't compare at all. Messi missed a game-winning penalty kick and collapsed and announced retirements and all sorts of different things. I think that you have to look at his hat-trick that he scored against their inner-city rival. That's one of the most important parts moving forward into that. It's just the performance right now at the very moment, there's nothing comparable.
Okay, we're going to look at the Ballon d'Or now, the best player in the world at the time for the year. Is that the answer? Ronaldo? Who should win? Who's going to win? I mean, I know sometimes there's politics involved in soccer, just like every other sport.
especially soccer.
So, who should win? Who will win? Go.
Who should win? I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo, just off the year he's had. Portugal's never won a European championship. He willed them to victory. Granted, he missed the final for the majority of it, but without him, they are surely not getting to the final. I mean, we will see. It's hard to say that. It's hard for me to see anybody winning it after Cristiano led Portugal to a European championship.
Who will win?
Yeah, Ronaldo, absolutely. The only trick in this is the ever so decisive critics and politics of the UEFA board. Every year there happens to be some sort of criticism with who's being honest and who's not. That's the only thing holding back Ronaldo. The board tends to not really like him, but a lot of those people don't happen to be there anymore because of all sorts of corruption. So point being, I think Ronaldo is going to win because of performance, single-handedly, completely cruising his team through, bringing both country and club to where they need to be. So it'll be Ronaldo.
So we've established that the two best players in the world are Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. That probably won't change until those two retire or they get later on. Maybe they'll come to the United States, do a little MLS tour.
Of course.
You're onto something.
But who's the third best player now? I mean, I just feel like you always hear, and if you're not really a big soccer guy, it's always just Messi or Ronaldo. So who's the third? Who else is there?
There's so many options that come to mind.
Who will be third in Ballon d'Or voting?
I'm gonna give it to Antoine Griezmann of Atletico Madrid and France, solely because he has the popularity, as Dylan mentioned. Yeah. A huge part of the Ballon d'Or is your popularity and your marketability. He's very marketable. He's got his hotline bling celebration that kids they love to do nowadays. But I would say him. It's unfortunate that he lost in 2 major finals. He lost to Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League final, and then in a couple months later, he lost to him in the European Championship final. But had he won both of those, we'd probably be talking about him winning the Ballon d'Or.
Okay, and who's your
I
third?
think N'Golo Kante. He plays for Chelsea and is far and away the star of the Premier League for 2 years running. He's won the Premier League Player of the Year 2 years in a row, carrying Leicester City to their only championship of the Premier League in their entire history, and also beating odds that has pretty much surpassed any odds in all of sports.
Probably the last title to win, too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so real quick, we're running out of time. Who's going to win the UCL championship? Like, real quick, each one.
I'm going to go with Juventus. Defense wins championships. They haven't let up a goal since like December in the Champions League.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with them. Best back line.
Juventus has a good wall. Whenever Juventus has a good wall, Italy has a good wall. I think that I'm going to go with Ronaldo, though. Go complete opposite direction here. His performances are too high right now.
Well, there you have it, folks. We did a lot of soccer talking there, more than I'm used to.
Can never have too much.
It's about time.
It's just a shame that we don't do more soccer because those pants they're fire.
Fuego.
Or maybe ice because they're blue.
The Nantucket
Boys,
Yep.
thanks for joining me. Thanks for giving us some of your time today.
Of course.
When we get back, we're going to go to a little bit more of a heavier topic. Controversy in Boston this past week. Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Boston Red Sox, Orioles. We'll be right back. SportsBuzz is brought to you by Berkshire Hathaway. Prudential Home Sale is now Berkshire Hathaway. New name, new look, same great company. Welcome back to SportsBuzz, and we're going to end this program today on a little bit more of a heavy issue.
Okay.
We're going to take it over to Boston, Red Sox, Orioles. Feels like this series has been going on for 1,000 games
Where do you
now.
even
It just
start?
never ends. We're going to start off with what happened with Adam Jones and the racial comments, the racial slurs that he heard this past week. What are your thoughts on that? How does the MLB even go about attacking and fixing that?
I mean, honestly, I think they've done a good job. It obviously has zero place in the game. It should never happen to anyone of any color. I think it's great that Adam Jones spoke out about this, made it known, because what's better than one of the game's best players to come out, say something about it, and put a stop to it? I think that was bold and strong of him.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree there's no place in the game for this. I mean, Fenway Park is already taking initiative. They threw a fan out the other day for a slur used towards another fan. I think this is something that needs to be continued to be monitored because if you don't nab it now, supposedly it's been going on for a while, and that's just a shame. I thought this stuff was done, back in when Jackie Robinson's time. I thought when he broke the barrier, but
it's also interesting that players are coming out, CC in particular, saying that it only happens in Boston. So it's interesting to you can almost get into a whole nother topic. Like, is Boston Boston, the city, the problem, or is it just a couple fans? And I think it's really just a couple fans. A few bad eggs spoil the whole bunch. I think MLB has done a great job with this. I think they're going to continue to stay on it. And I think players like Adam Jones need to keep speaking out. If they hear something, say something. They have a huge voice.
Yep.
Use that voice, make your voice heard, and you can nip this stuff in the bud.
Especially in the age of the media and the press conference. Talking about press conferences, same thing. Manny Machado's, he had some crazy things. This is the second issue that's been going on in Boston this past week. Well, it's been brewing for a little bit. Let's see what he had to say.
Let the keep lingering around and keep trying to hit people. I mean, it's and MLB should do something about hit pitchers out there with balls in their hands, throwing 100 miles per hour, trying to hit people. I got a bat too. I could go up there and crush somebody if I wanted to. But you know what? I'll get suspended for the year, and the pitchers only get suspended for 2 games. That's not cool. That's not cool. So they got to do something about it. I mean, you're gonna hit somebody, go ahead, hit them. But I mean, go ask them. Go ask Farrell. Go ask that side on the other side. I don't know. I mean, for me, as I see it, is that I slid into second base normal, and then I, kind of hurt someone a little bit, unintentional. I grabbed them after the matter of fact, and they're still trying to pay the piper. I don't know what they're trying to pay for. I don't know what their mindset.
I had to take the IFB out.
That was a lot. Beep,
the whole time.
It was like you're going through an airport.
My first question here is, You were a former player, and you've done this. You've played at the Division I level at Iona College. Do players police themselves, or does the MLB just need to step in at this point and take initiative?
I think there's a lot of gray area with these unwritten rules of baseball, and it's kind of like Machado hurts Pedroia. Did he do it on purpose? Who knows? And the Red Sox almost feel like in the unwritten rules, they have to pay him back. But you know what? At this point, the players aren't policing themselves. If they nip it in the butt, okay, Matt Barnes, the suspension, gets suspended, and I think it should have ended in Baltimore. You bring this to Boston, a whole nother thing starts. There's no need for Sale to bring that back into play, throw him behind the guy. You got to put it past you. At that point, it's like, okay, both sides got their worth. Not saying either side was right. Anyone meant harm, but it just got to stop. It's got to stop. Absolutely. It's ridiculous. It's not good for the game to keep dragging this on. The players got to stop.
My biggest problem with that is, there's these unwritten rules in baseball that, you hit my guy, I'm going to hit your guy. But hit him in the back. Come on, you're taking headshots at this point.
It could end someone's career. Someone gets hit in the head with a Chris Sale fastball coming at 97, 98 miles per hour. They're out cold. You never know if they'll ever be the same. You got a player like Manny Machado, arguably one of the best,
top players in the league,
most brightest young talent in the game today. And if he gets hit in the head, ultimately that's not good for the game. And it's not shown. What about the kids that are watching this game?
Exactly.
Baseball is such a father-son type of thing.
Yeah.
Kids are watching this game, see that. What do you think they're thinking? Oh, why do they keep throwing at Manny Machado, my favorite player's head? What do you think they're going to think of Chris Sale? They're going to look down on him. They see that Machado interview, it's not good either.
These guys are role models to these kids, and I absolutely agree. They're going to be looking at these players, and they're thinking, oh, my guy gets hurt. Kids can't really process what's going on and what's behind these pitches. I think it just needs to be nabbed in the butt. Would you have charged him on? Second time. It's the second time you're getting thrown.
Second
thrown
time,
at your head.
Me, at my size, no, I'm not charging Chris Sale's mound. If I had a sword or something or, a gun, I may have charged him mound. Manny Machado, heck yeah, I'm going Ronaldo Odor on him. I'm going, forget the bat, drop the bat and go fix, like the Slugfest days, the old Slugfest days.
Oh, man, I used to love that. You get hit one, that's it, it's over.
Yeah.
It's been a great show.
We've had a lot of fun.
This is the most I think we've covered in a while.
We made all our guys happy. We brought Dylan into it. What better than that? The kid's been itching to get into the soccer. What's been better than that? We brought everyone in.
With those pants, I'm kind of skeptical whether or not we should have brought him in, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I think he outdressed us all. For Mario, I'm Kyle. That's going to do it for Sports Buzz.